Beneath the veneer of urban sophistication, in the heart of New York City, lurk shadows far more sinister than mere city legends. We embark on an unsettling journey into a narrative once dismissed as fiction to unearth a chilling reality that intertwines secret government programs with the brutal efficiency of a notorious criminal enterprise. Our story begins with Rosemary Woodhouse, a young woman whose idyllic life in the iconic Branford apartment building on West 72nd Street was about to unravel. Her seemingly ordinary pregnancy became the focal point of an insidious experiment, where the walls between reality and manufactured delusion were meticulously blurred. In the mid-20th century, the CIA's covert operations expanded into uncharted psychological territory. Project MKUltra, officially sanctioned in 1953, sought to mastermind control through a battery of controversial methods, including hallucinogens, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and psychological manipulation. But what if MKUltra wasn't merely about understanding the mind, but about shaping it to achieve very specific and deeply disturbing outcomes? What if its experimental reach extended beyond isolated clinics into the very fabric of civilian life, using unsuspecting individuals as unwitting subjects? The Woodhouse case, long relegated to the realm of fiction, reveals patterns disturbingly consistent with documented MKUltra tactics. Rosemary's growing paranoia, her sudden isolation, and the systematic erosion of her trust in those closest to her mirror the coercive techniques employed in real-world thought reform experiments. The key to this shocking revelation lies not in the usual government archives, but in a series of encrypted communiques unearthed from a far more unlikely source: the digital remnants of a notorious transnational criminal organization, MS-13. MS-13, or Mara Salvatrucha, emerged from the brutal conflicts in El Salvador in the 1980s, gaining a foothold in Los Angeles and spreading rapidly. Their ruthless efficiency, rigid hierarchical structure, and territorial control have made them a formidable and fearsome entity, far removed from the clandestine operations of the CIA. Yet, our investigation suggests an unthinkable alliance: the intelligence apparatus exploiting the street-level networks of MS-13. This unlikely partnership provided the perfect cover for off-book operations, offering layers of plausible deniability and a ready supply of expendable assets. Consider the peculiar circumstances surrounding Rosemary's apartment building. The Branford, with its insular community and strict co-op board, provided an ideal microcosm for a controlled environment, limiting outside interference and maximizing the handler's influence over her daily life. The subtle manipulation of her diet, the suspicious accidents preventing her access to trusted medical advice, and the constant psychological pressure were all hallmarks of advanced behavioral modification techniques, designed to break down resistance and foster dependency. These aren't the random acts of a disturbed mind, but the carefully orchestrated steps of a protocol. A protocol requiring meticulous planning, precise execution, and a clandestine network capable of operating beneath the radar of both law enforcement and public scrutiny. The crucial question emerged: who provided the infrastructure, the hidden eyes and ears within the city's sprawling underbelly, to maintain such an elaborate charade? The answer, chillingly, points to a collaboration that redefines the very nature of urban conspiracy. How deep did this unsettling alliance truly run? The revelation of MS-13's involvement in a program seemingly orchestrated by the CIA shattered conventional understanding of both entities. It painted a picture of a shadow network, leveraging gangland muscle for psychological warfare. But why MS-13, and what specific role did they play in controlling Rosemary Woodhouse? Our research into leaked documents, coded messages, and interviews with former intelligence assets suggests MS-13 was invaluable for its ability to enforce strict territorial control and maintain silence. They could create no-go zones or subtly intimidate anyone who might interfere with the experiment's delicate progression. The gang's presence ensured a level of pervasive oversight that a typical government agency couldn't achieve without raising suspicion. Street-level operatives, seemingly engaged in routine criminal activities, were in fact monitoring targets, reporting on movements, and subtly influencing local environments. One particularly disturbing discovery was a decrypted message referencing Project Nightingale. This code word, buried deep within MS-13's internal communications, aligned with intelligence chatter about a highly sensitive, long-term psychological conditioning program targeting vulnerable individuals. The message detailed protocols for environmental conditioning and social isolation. This wasn't about interrogation. It was about altering an individual's perception of reality itself, making them susceptible to suggestion and ultimately absolute control. Rosemary was a prime candidate for such an intricate manipulation. Her pregnancy, a time of heightened hormonal flux and emotional vulnerability, made her an ideal subject. The experiment aimed to prove that under extreme, sustained psychological pressure, an individual could be led to believe and accept realities entirely fabricated by their handlers. Dr. Ewan Cameron, a psychiatrist funded by the CIA in real-world MKUltra experiments, famously explored psychic driving, attempting to erase and rewrite personalities. While his methods involved extreme techniques like forced comas and repeated playback of messages, the Woodhouse case suggested a more insidious, covert application. Instead of direct physical intervention, Rosemary was subjected to microdosing of psychoactive substances in her food and drink, administered by those she trusted. These compounds, designed to induce mild disorientation and amplify suggestibility, ensured her perceptions remained clouded, her judgment impaired. The apartment building itself became a meticulously controlled stage. Neighbors, seemingly benign, were either unwitting participants or trained assets, delivering targeted misinformation, reinforcing her paranoia, and isolating her from any external support network. MS-13 operatives, posing as maintenance workers or delivery personnel, facilitated the covert entry and exit of agents, ensuring surveillance equipment was maintained and preventing any unauthorized access or escape attempts. Their disciplined structure proved terrifyingly effective in this regard. This orchestration created a profound psychological trap. Rosemary's reality was slowly dismantled, replaced by a narrative spun by her manipulators. Every oddity, every strange coincidence, was part of a grand design to control her mind and her very perception of her unborn child. The most terrifying aspect of Project Nightingale was its success. Rosemary Woodhouse, stripped of her autonomy, became a testament to the chilling capabilities of a shadow alliance. The question that haunted our researchers: what was the ultimate goal of such a monstrous experiment, and how many other Rosemarys were out there? The layers of deception surrounding Rosemary Woodhouse's ordeal reveal a chilling truth. The CIA's psychological programs, far from being a relic of the Cold War, evolved into sophisticated, deniable operations. The alliance with MS-13 wasn't an anomaly, but a calculated strategic adaptation. Project Nightingale, as we've come to understand it, wasn't merely about control, but about creating a specific outcome. The child. Our investigation suggests the experiment aimed to demonstrate the ultimate power of environmental and psychological manipulation over human will, even in the most fundamental act of creation. The purpose wasn't to raise a demon, as fiction might suggest, but to prove the viability of psychological engineering at its most extreme. Could a child, nurtured in an environment of engineered paranoia and subliminal suggestion, be predisposed to certain behavioral traits or loyalties? This objective aligns with broader interests identified in declassified CIA documents from the 1960s, which explored the potential for creating Manchurian candidate-style operatives from birth or influencing future generations to specific ideological pathways. A truly terrifying concept. The data gathered from Rosemary's case, we believe, informed subsequent, more widespread clandestine programs. Her apartment on West 72nd Street became a silent laboratory, its tragic outcome a hidden triumph for those seeking ultimate human control. The role of MS-13 in this network cannot be overstated. Their capacity for coercion, their discreet intelligence gathering, and their ruthless ability to eliminate threats or loose ends provided the crucial infrastructure for such a sensitive, long-term operation to remain undetected.